Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video on Lumber Capital Log Yard. Today I'm in our barn because my grandpa is going to be showing everyone how we resharpen our sawmill blades. I got a lot of people asking me how we did it after my video all about sawmill blades, and so today that's what we're going to be doing. So let's get into this video. All right, so Grandpa, can you go ahead and start us off? Like, where do you begin? Is this an old blade then?
This is an old blade that's been in the shop up there at the log yard for years.
Yeah, it looks
and not
like
being sharpened, and they're just really rusty. You can see that they look like they're not any good, but
yeah.
I found that rust, it really doesn't pit them that much. It's more of a surface rust.
Oh, wow.
So I run them through this brush wheel right here and clean them up, and we've been able to get 4 and 5 sharpenings out of these old blades that were just thrown back in the corner.
So do you have to, you don't have to do that with every blade though, that's just the ones that are rusty, or do you run them through that anyhow?
It depends on if there's a lot of pitch on the inside, and especially on the inside where the wheels pack it on there.
Yeah, and we haven't
so I clean that up.
We actually haven't been using soap as lubricant, and that, or in our lubricant, and that's supposed to help clean it off, and so it might be worse.
Well, it's good to do that because this thing, the tooth set is like thousands.
Yeah. Well,
and so it takes very little on here to change that thing 2 or 3 thousandths. So it's a good idea to clean them, and I go over them pretty close to initially. Because it throws you, you get erratic readings. So I'm not going to clean that now because that's a mess. But let me get a.
We've quite a large amount of dull blades.
That appears to be. Yeah, I think I should clean this. So I'll go ahead and clean this up.
All right.
And then we'll put it on the.
All right, really quick question. Everybody is always curious how many saw blades we go through, or in like a week. And I know you'd probably know better than me because I honestly don't count. Like, how many do we about go through in a week?
You probably average one a day. Pretty close to it. I mean, you get a day and a half on one. Depends on what you're pushing it through. But I mean, I've done as many as a dozen if I needed to get ahead of you, and they last a while. But it depends on what you're hitting. Now, something else as I'm running it through here, I can see if there's any busted off teeth from hitting nails or anything. So
instead of
I'll put it in here and see there's pitch on that. So and that would matter whether I was cutting like hemlock or pine and the season, because like if the pitch is up in the trees, then it's going to be a lot worse like coming spring here. Well, but that wheel, those wheels that this rides on, packs it on there. All your dust and stuff. So. And I do clean that out when we go to change the blades. I try and clean out as much of that out as I can. Well, they're not as bad as some of them that I've seen, but let me. If I get the light on it here right, you can see how shiny that is there where I did it, and then you can see those lines on there. It makes a big difference, and then you got a clean product to start working with. Find the weld right there.
And then we can look at that, and I etch in that how many times we've sharpened them. This looks like this one's been sharpened once. And it's one of the old blades that I pulled out of that rusty pile. So we're getting some use out of this.
So long before we had the tools to actually resharpen our blades, we started saving them. So we had a while's worth of just dull blades sitting for basically years until we got the all the machinery to do it and Grandpa to do it for us and everything. And so now we have just this major stock of dull blades that he has been slowly working through, and because we've been breaking them, you know, we slowly go through them, and sounds like we're moving through them pretty quickly here. So I don't know if you want to take a look at just the piles and piles we have laying over here, but it's insane.
What I have going on here, I have to say all these blades aren't the same thickness. So I have to set my, I try not to go over 2500s or thousandths.
Why don't you think that they're the same thickness? Why
because
is
you
that?
can tell when you pull on this thing,
But they're supposed to be, right?
Well,
that's an inconsistency.
They're close, but every batch of blades is another batch of blades, and it's kind of like dye lot colors on paint.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Know? So I try to get the first thing set. That's about 25. Let's try this one. See, that's really too much. See, that one's a bunch too. It takes me a little bit here to get those things somewhat the same. Okay, now that's pretty good now. You see these indicators here give me the reading. Okay, now so that one's a little bit less. You just got to keep fussing with it here until it kind of evens out. Okay, I think I've got it now. Now I can run this around, and it does 2 teeth at a time. Oh yeah, no, it's good now. I start at the weld when I start adjusting for this, and that way I've got some way to know when I'm finished. You know, I mean, you come back around to the weld, you should be done. And there's the weld. So let me do one more. Okay, so the set is done. Then make sure this is a 7, because that's the way I'm calibrated on my sharpener here. It is.
Okay, so this machine is the actual machine that does the sharpening, correct?
It does the sharpening. Your wheel there spins, and then this advances.
It moves
to the next tooth. So I've got to set this down in there, and you don't want to hit that tooth very hard. So I've got to adjust this so I just barely
touch it.
Touch the cutting edge of the tooth. You don't want to cut it back too far. So I start short, and then let me see what this does here. That's too heavy, so I'll back that off. Okay, that looks good. Now I'm gonna turn it on and I'm gonna let it down, and I'll adjust this arm until I'm just catching the bottom of this, and lower the stone enough that I sweep up on the backside. That keeps all your teeth the same height, because if you got one long tooth, that's going to be the one that's cutting.
Yeah, right.
So let's see. So it's not. Turn this down slow. See, it's not hitting the cutting edge of the tooth, so I need to back off of that a little bit. Okay, I'm starting to hit it. So you can see that just barely, I might be just a little bit too. And then once I get it kind of set like that, then I can speed this up. Speed that up and it depends on the blade, the stretch, how much space there is between these teeth. Sometimes I might go around 3 times to get it just like I want it. But that's okay. And I don't try to go too fast, because I think if you're hitting it too hard, you're putting a lot of stress on your stone. Then I can look over here where I get the sunshine on those teeth. You can see if I'm cutting enough. And I can look on the back side of the tooth. Here I usually take something like this and put behind it something white, so I can see if it's totally cutting it. See that shine on there? You can see it's getting it. So I might only go one time with this one, because that's set pretty good. We got down all the way, and it looks pretty good.
Feels pretty sharp.
Oh yeah. So now I get my starting point here, and I've got a Dremel over here.
Oh, is that what you do to etch the date in? Or
there it is right there. I put the date, which is today, the 21st.
Is it? Yeah, I think so.
And that's the second sharpening on this old blade that was thrown away.
Yeah.
So, and I'll write on here, it's a 7-degree blade. So you always know. Usually when I'm done sharpening them, I hang them up there. I spray them. If you've noticed, I give them a little shot of.
Okay, yeah, I did notice that.
Lubricant.
Yep.
Keeps the rust down off.
Well, when you take them out of the box brand new, they're like that. They're all greasy. I always wondered about that.
Just natural humidity and air
that makes
corrode
sense.
it.
Yeah.
But it keeps that down.
Yeah, I know.
So I don't know how long that took to sharpen that, but depends, you know, I get 4, maybe 5 in an hour if I hustle, if they're not too bad.
Yeah, and I'm guessing it takes a lot longer if you have to go around another time like that.
Yeah.
That's the longest part.
But second time around, I go a little faster because I'm not digging. I just don't, no sense of putting a load on it if you don't have to.
Yeah.
Occasionally, if there's one tooth just one tooth busted off on the tip, I'll sharpen it.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes we can get away with one tooth busted off. I was telling them that the other day.
Yeah, but if you know if you hit something hard enough, it's
no.
For the scrap yard.
Yeah.
But no, that's amazing. We got heaps of those, a lot of number 4s, but I can pull some 7s out
and we need 4s sometimes. So like sometimes we'll put on.
But I've hundreds.
Yeah, yeah.
From years back.
Years, because we just were like, we had the idea that someday we would do this, so I'm glad that they are still usable.
Yeah, I was concerned when I first did it, but it's not etching into the metal. It's just a surface rust. It's pretty high tensile strength steel, and so that makes a difference. But you're going to get a breakage once in a while. I mean, you don't know what those went through.
Yeah. Some of them had no lubricant at all.
Yeah.
So.
But you know, every time you sharpen one and use it over, it's what, $30 or whatever.
Exactly. Exactly. So, something like that.
So that's the way they're done.
All right, thank you so much, Grandpa, for showing us how you resharpen these blades, and thank you everyone for watching. This is the end of the video. Thanks for watching once again, and subscribe if you haven't already. Give it a thumbs up, hit the notifications bell, but other than that, I'll see you guys next time.